Welcome, Cryptillions and Crypto Crackheads. It's Thursday, August 26, 2021, and you're about to get Timified. This is going to be a little bit different. We're going to start this off with a trailer to a video series specific to BEPRO profits and giving back to people who aren't quite as fortunate to have, seen such a nice run and have taken profits with BEPRO. So one of my VIP community members, he was in Uganda. He might be going back here fairly quickly, and with a lot of the BEPRO profits that he had, he helped an individual get a tumor removed from her face, which I think you see a little bit of that in the trailer, installed solar panels, things to that effect. So let this serve as a reminder that let's say that we have another run up, you do pretty well for yourself, you have profits, doing things for other people who are less fortunate is going to be something that makes you feel a lot better than buying a Lambo. So keep this in mind. We're going to start off with this. It's already on 1.5 times speed, so just a heads up. I'll play this and we'll be rocking and rolling with a little bit of BEPRO technical analysis.
The Altruistic Crypto Adventure Show, and they're getting 1 million shillings worth of BEPRO.
It was 1 million shillings worth of BEPRO, but it's BEPRO is taking one tomorrow.
This is the guy from the Crypto Rodeo Show. He blocked me on Twitter, says I'm a scammer. What is exponential moving average? What is a monetary coin? What are giveaways? That's those water filters. Market went even lower since I filmed this intro. I'm just going to continue to buy people. Because I'll tell you what are candles? What are wicks? I want to thank the Safe Moon community for being so dope. It's a big reality slap for me. Your portfolio doubles, quadruples. What is happening here? How is this going to change the world? Is it a sophisticated global digital Ponzi scheme? Look who it is. On an actual ad, no electricity, there's no running water. You have more money than you've ever had. Something like this happens and it all goes back. Like, they don't have refrigerators. There's nothing there. If you're watching YouTube right now, chances are that you have a huge amount of amenities that you don't even realize.
All right, and the link to this is down below. It'll be in the description section. And again, that's one of the folks who happens to be in my community, and we were actually just on a live chat this morning. And check that out. It's video. It's pretty entertaining, but it also brings you back to the real world of, partly why are you in crypto? Sometimes it will things like this can help you identify your true north. Like, why am I here? What am I doing this? And it could help you redefine it. So good information over there. It's a little heartfelt, and it could potentially change your life with other people's as well. So BEPRO, the market seems to finally be moving back down. I have pretty similar targets still personally, but if you look at this run up was, that's versus Bitcoin. This run up was over 500% from bottom to top, which means I have a rule of thumb, 55% correction, and the probability of a 55% correction happens for that to happen increases if there happens to be a key horizontal there. So go ahead, check this out. Watch, from top down to 55%. Did I go too high? Well, 57%, whatever. That brings you down to this important horizontal here of 0.007. So about a 55% correction, wick down to this line is what I'm looking forward to. I might move this up just a tiny bit. Let's put this on the weekly, see what the weekly did. Yeah, maybe closer to about here. So yeah, 0.0073, and that would probably be about a 55% move down. Which, again, it might seem unbelievable to you, especially if you're newer here, right? But most people follow my channel. They know that this happens more regularly than it doesn't happen after that size of a run. So, yeah, my target's at 0.0074. And, again, that all depends on Bitcoin. Bitcoin forms a much higher low around 44K, keeps grooving up to the upside. BEPRO will too. So the upside target, if things turn around here, and really this downturn is nothing, your next upside resistance sell points. So in this event, BEPRO hit my third upside target. One I didn't think was going to hit, but it hit this line almost perfectly, right? So 1.7 cents. But if things were to turn around, come back up, I would suspect that it's going to hit some type of daily line, which it did there. Maybe a wick past this origin line. So wick past origin, see this origin line, wick past, wick past. So I would say it would be a wick past the origin line somewhere up here, which happens to align with this horizontal up in this area. Let me try to put it on a weekly. nope, it's going to be, so it's a pretty young asset. So a lot of your lines are going to be from a 4-hour chart. I mean, all this support here and then resistance, I think that might be the next, one of the next targets is 2.5 cents. And that would put it, again, a wick above this origin line, which is probably what's going to happen if it were to immediately push up, within the next few days without much of a downturn. And so this would be my upside target, 0.025 cents. If Bitcoin were to turn around rather quickly, that would be where I would try to take profits on BEPRO should I be in a profitable trade on BEPRO. So that's downside and upside targets for BEPRO. Let's go to PDEX. And try to include POLK and PDEX in my BEPRO analysis, particularly because POLK is pretty connected to BEPRO and as a project here. So, wow, this really went on a screamer. So PDEX, let's see from a percentage basis, measured from there to there, 300%. So let's give that a 45% correction, something to that effect. Does that come? So does 45 come? So I'm at 46% decrease, and it aligns with this horizontal here, which makes my target rather easy. My main target. This would be my biggest target to get, and that might be like a wick under the weekly 10 if there is a weekly 10. And guess what? Lo and behold, this TA sometimes just balances out from top to the exact percentage I'm looking for based off a rule of thumb, goes to a horizontal, plus that horizontal is just under the weekly 10, which getting a wick below the weekly 10, but closing above or around the weekly 10 for a sign of strength is very good. Everything just seems to align. So buyback point for that, 13.78 cents would it looks like a pretty good winner. And honestly, you might make it a range. So the weekly chart saying, hey, make this a range. It could bounce at the candle bodies or these candle wicks. So I would do something more like this. So I would say between $14 and 13. Yeah, so 13 and $14 would be my goal for a buyback on there. So let's go to POLK. Polkamarkets. All right, so POLK is set up a little differently. It got rejected from its weekly 10. So it's going to have to regroup down at some horizontal a little bit lower and then try it again most likely. Or it could just keep riding under it. But since Bitcoin has a downturn, I think it's going to regroup somewhere lower and then try to get it back above its weekly 10 because it has not done that yet. And once it does, though, it could produce a very big move. So personally, what I'm seeing on POLK, and I think I might have covered this on one of my recent videos, so I'm going to make this a very abbreviated version. However, I think that this higher low structure, is just too aggressive. I can't see a higher low being formed on that. So I made a projection of what is a typical angle, so a slope to which higher lows typically come. So I made a projection, and the sweet part of the bat, even though the sweet part of the bat might be about like right here, but the sweet part of the bat is hitting a pretty awesome horizontal here. So when those things happen to align, I just choose that because the probability increases pretty well. And the reason probability increases pretty well, it's because it's a merger of multiple different things that different groups of people who are hitting buy and sell, right? It's a convergence point of many people viewing different things where their actions might maybe a self-fulfilling prophecy, but I feel that it's a greater chance when things align with horizontals, percentages, this and that, EMAs. You just have multiple groups of people who are going to be viewing this similar things, increasing that chance. So when things align like this, I mean, I typically pick just one spot. And if it doesn't quite go down to that much, I would cancel my limit buy orders and then just market buy on the way up, even though my target was hit. That would still be my target, and these are the reasons why. And that's what I got for POLK right now. Now, if the market were to turn back around and Bitcoin made another screamer, this one has the chance of going pretty high if that were to happen soon, because you're going to have a breakage above the weekly 10. I mean, I would say, honestly, it would either go to this wick or this line here. So I would put a box here for an upside target. And I bet it would hit the white line, but somewhere right there. So, and that's a big psychological number right at $1 as well. Could fly past it. So let's see what type of percentage run that would be. And this is if Bitcoin turns around quickly, right? I personally think a downside target will be hit first, well before this happens. However, just in case it doesn't, I want to give you an upside target as well. And from current price, yep, that's 2.5x your money if it were to hit $1. If you bought it now, for example, without waiting for a buyback point like this. All right, and let's go to BEPRO-BTC to wrap this up. One idea that I've had is the BEPRO-BTC chart looks pretty clear. It looks like versus Bitcoin, a good time to buy, even if it's on the dollar chart, is by looking at the BTC chart. And when it hits this line, if you're holding Tether, then you would go to, whatever exchange you're going to buy it and buy it with a stable coin as opposed to Bitcoin. But this could be your indicator of when to go do that. So just a heads up on BEPRO, this chart is looking pretty definitive. And that could mean price, doesn't get much below a penny. If Bitcoin stays strong and BEPRO hits this line, BEPRO is probably not going much under a penny. However, if Bitcoin falls and BEPRO hits this line, you're probably looking at 0.008, 0.007. So again, it definitely depends on Bitcoin. However, that's the line that I would be looking for, and it's a pretty clear, definitive line. So I think I'm going to keep this one short and sweet today because we're finally getting that down move, or what seems to be that down move. Look at my previous videos of, BEPRO altcoins. They're all tagged if you want to see a specific coin with downside targets. All my downside targets are pretty much the same because I covered most of them after these most recent pops. And so feel free to watch them on ×2 speed. Check out the link that I provided you of that web series down in the bottom. And if you want to, join a community where you get daily updates, you get trade alerts, things to that effect, depending on your tier. VIPs get 5 to 8 times a week where we all come together, do video chats, things to that effect. So if you want to check out that community, the description or the link to that is the first thing in the description section as well. You can go peruse what the Discord and Patreon community are all about, and they are connected. Folks go through Patreon first, then you get Discord access. That's how that works. And since it's nearing the end of the month, perfect time to kind of be making those announcements. So other than that, hit thumbs up before you head out of here. Help out the algo. Leave me a comment, even down below, even if it's just "you suck, LOL." And we'll see you next time.